Still Snoop Dogg and D.I. Guess who's back? Still doing it.
Welcome, everybody, to the Hat Trick Podcast. I am Joe Berg, joined by Nick DiCostanzo. How are you doing today?
Great, Joe. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. We're missing our third host, but this is really just the run through. This is just the run through. This is the first episode, but not really the first episode. This is the first attempt at the podcast that we will be putting on iTunes.
Kind of a run through. We're
Kind of a
doing,
run through.
we obviously, us three actually, as Joe mentioned, went without Nick Filato today, who's with his family. But all three of us are kind of serious about getting into the radio business as well as the sports broadcasting world.
For
and
sure.
What a great way to start practicing right here at FTU Madison, where
Perfect.
we go, obviously. And, we need kind of that platform to kind of get us to the next level.
We do, yes.
And now we could finally
We found
run-
that platform, which
we sure did.
will be from what I've seen on Audio Boom, which is what I'm going to be using.
Right.
Audio Boom will automatically put this out on iTunes and Google Play
Yeah.
and things like that. So something that we're going to have to get used to is housekeeping stuff and say, follow us. Subscribe on iTunes.
If it's on the internet,
If it's on the internet, follow us, subscribe to us.
always a chance.
That way you get the notifications, things like that.
There's always a chance, an opportunity for somebody to listen if it's out on the internet. So
This is the
this
run
is our
through.
this is our chance, and hopefully it goes well. And we'll be back next week to do
So
another
we
one,
named it Hat Trick Podcast.
subject to change.
Very subject to change. If there's any listeners, please give us suggestions.
Yeah, call us.
Call us. Our hotline number is 1-800. No, we don't actually.
We don't
a
have
hotline.
one. We should get a phone.
That would
in
be
here.
awesome.
We should get a landline in here.
We should. That'd be awesome. Anyway, so the Hat Trick Podcast will be about what you would assume with the play on words there, sports,
Yeah.
and basically just the four major sports.
Headlines, yeah.
But we will throw in
we
other
dive-
sport. We do go into some other things.
Yeah, we dive pretty deep into, obviously the four major sports, the NFL, the NHL, MLB, NBA. And then as well as, some other stray topics. Sometimes we do talk about NASCAR. Sometimes we do talk about the World Cup.
Boxing,
Tonight
MMA.
I'm going to, we'll touch on the fight that happened over the weekend, Triple G and Canelo Alvarez, which was one for the history books. So, there's a lot of variety that goes on in the show, and that's in my opinion, that's what makes it unique.
Yes, a lot of variety. And to start off,
'Cause we do in-depth stuff.
we
you
do
know.
go in
And
depth.
we have some really strong points. I think all three of us bring a lot to the table. Only two of us today. We still bring a lot to the table, and we make it enjoyable for ourselves.
Yeah, well, background on us, you're more of the baseball guy.
Right.
I'm more of the football guy, and,
Right.
and we all kind of do hockey.
We love.
We
yeah.
we all love hockey, and then
I
the
lo- I
NBA
love-
is just kind of thrown in there when we feel like it.
Because the NBA is thrown in there because there's only so much you could say about the
There
NBA.
is, and the reason being, we will get into this once the NBA season starts for sure. The reason being is the NBA is a total joke of a league.
Yeah.
There is no parity. You know Golden State is going to win. You know Cleveland's going to be good. Nobody has competed with them for 3 years now. It's probably going to be 4 years in a row that they go against each other unless the Celtics can come with Kyrie now
Yep,
and overtake Cleveland, but I don't see it happening.
I
LeBron
don't-
James is the greatest basketball player in the world right now.
Yeah, he sure is. And, it's tough. I feel like it's all just everybody getting their own super team and wanting to go play with your friends instead of beating your friends and beating, the people that are the best in the world as well as you.
Exactly.
And, it's all about joining forces now instead of competing. And I think that's where a lot of the discrepancy lies with that, because you didn't see that back in the day. They wanted to beat each other. They didn't want to be with each other. Hanging out on and off the court. That was for, the after season. That was for
Right.
stuff like now. You see Dwayne Wade and LeBron James working out every other week together in the gym.
With
That's
Damian
fun.
Lillard.
Yeah, with Damian Lillard and
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo and
They're-
James
they're all
Harden
friends.
and
They're
Westbrook.
all friends. That's all it is.
They're all best friends. They all know who each other are. Hang out off the court in the off season. Not on a team. I don't know, man. I think it's very different now, but there still are some great athletes that are in the league, and that are really competing, especially when the Olympics roll around. You know, I love that they represent the USA. That's a chance for them to, you know, get together. But
Yeah.
I think the league is very watered down now. Anytime you have a team under 500 making the playoffs, I think that's where your problem lies right there.
Yeah. So we won't really get into the NBA too much.
Especially now, the only really hot headline was just the few
The
trades that happened.
Yeah, that's it.
Kyrie-
Especially now. Once we get into the season, we'll probably
And
touch on
I
it
just
every once
might
in a while.
add that speaking of the trade, not to go in depth on it, but I really think that the Cleveland Cavaliers absolutely hosed
Yes.
the Boston Celtics
Yes, they
in
did.
that deal.
And they did because they got the Nets first round pick.
Right.
And the Nets are just as bad as the Knicks, if not worse.
This year could be an upside for the Nets.
Really? You think so?
See, this is where
Are
that.
you a Nets fan? I
No,
don't even know
I'm
what
not.
your basketball team is.
I don't really have one. I'm very big on the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Okay.
And I always liked the Suns, who aren't that good anymore, but I used to
Yeah.
like them when I was a kid growing up with that Stoudemire, Marion, and Steve Nash team. That was one of my favorite teams ever. But I mean, the Nets, yeah, they'll be they'll be
You
competing.
think they're a playoff team?
They'll be competing for an 8 spot. I feel they'll be in that 4-team mix that goes 7, 8, 9, and 10. So they're going to fall somewhere in there. So 2 of them
Probably,
The
'cause
Knicks,
the East is
the Knicks
such a
probably
joke.
will too now.
Yeah,
the
the Knicks-
Knicks might too.
The East has become such a joke
Yeah.
that anybody can make it now.
Again,
even the Knicks, even the Nets,
right.
they have a chance just because the East is absolutely abysmal.
Once you get past the top 5 teams in the East, which really is more like a top 4, with a 5th team kind of just thrown in there. Other than that, I mean, it's not even close. It's
Yeah.
really not close to the, and that it's. I feel like it's not fair to the West almost.
Yeah, the West.
But it's
well,
just
it's
so
not fair to the West.
lopsided.
But then you just go to the West and you see, oh, Golden State's there. They're winning.
Well, yeah,
they're
but then-
going. They're going to the NBA Finals,
Right.
Without a doubt. It's the Warriors.
Seven
They have
other-
Curry,
right.
Klay
6
Thompson.
other teams want them in the Western Conference
Yeah.
Final, which realistically anybody could make the Western Conference Final against Golden State, and I'm talking like teams like the Spurs, like the Rockets, like the Jazz have a chance. Can never count out the Clippers. Watch out for the Lakers this year, like
Yep.
and the Timberwolves even. You know, the Timberwolves are going to be a very good team, as they should be, disregarding any injury that could happen, because obviously we all know how common injury is in the world of sports.
Yep.
So, you know,
Injuries
all this
happen.
stuff can change, but you know, and who knows, we could have a team surprise us.
We could.
But
I
other-
think the dark horse team though is definitely Minnesota.
Yeah,
They could
I-
come out of no. They could be a 3 seed.
They
I could
was-
see them being a 3 seed.
They were supposed to be good last year. They were supposed to make noise. They didn't. The year before that, they were even supposed to be good when they got Karl Anthony Towns in his first year.
Right.
The man, like, they know how to play basketball.
Well, now they got Jimmy Butler
now
too.
they got Butler, right?
And Andrew Wiggins. And didn't they
just
traded
signed-
away?
They just signed Wiggins to a huge deal.
Yeah, they traded away their point guard. Who was their point guard?
Ricky Rubio.
Ricky Rubio. Where did he go?
He's gone. I don't know if it was a trade, but they did lose him somewhere to the East. Now they have Jeff
Teague. Who I like Jeff Teague.
which is I like Jeff Teague a lot. He was very good.
Used
with
to
the
be
Pacers,
in
Indiana
in-
and Atlanta.
Atlanta. That's where I was going.
He
yeah.
was very underrated. I feel he's a
Yeah.
good small point guard. I don't know if he's a difference making point guard, but he's good enough in the sense of, you know, get Andrew Wiggins the ball, get Karl Anthony Towns the ball, get Jimmy Butler the ball, assists, and, you know, make the points when he
Right.
needs to. When he has
Yeah.
to contribute, he will. But getting back to that trade, the reason why I felt that Cleveland beat Boston in the deal was that they gave up, I think, 5 overall players, whether they're draft picks or not. 5, I believe, overall players, 5 or 6, for, I think, 2.
Yeah, but you get one of the best players in the league.
Right. Well, now
Maybe one of the best point guards in the league.
Well, this was my argument. With the season he had last year, Kyrie Irving is probably first or second best point guard in the league behind Russell Westbrook, probably.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, then I'd put him third.
Behind.
I totally forgot about Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
I'd go Westbrook, Curry, Irving.
I feel that. A lot of people feel that way too. I think Irving brings a little bit more to the table than Curry. That's just my opinion. I don't think. I mean, Curry's obviously, he'll shoot lights out from wherever the hell he wants.
Yeah,
But
literally wherever.
when it comes to team play, when it comes to defense, when it comes to scoring, pure scoring, I think Kyrie Irving's got the edge. That's why I put him second. And then you have the discussion for Curry third. And who's fourth? In my mind, it's Isaiah Thomas.
Really?
So, yes.
Okay.
This man is shorter than me. He averaged, I think, like 35 points in the fourth quarter alone. And again, he didn't have, as good as the Celtics were last year, they didn't have much help behind him. He had an aging Al Horford at center. Jay Crowder is more known for his defense than his offensive presence. Avery Bradley behind him, and other than that, that was really it. And now they have Gordon Hayward, who he won't even play with. He's playing with LeBron now. So watch out for, obviously, the Cavaliers disregarding LeBron James, but now Isaiah Thomas on the forefront as well.
Yeah, and
I
I like Isaiah Thomas.
I
He's
do
a solid
too.
player.
He's a very good
He's
player.
a quiet, solid player.
Yeah, he's definitely become a superstar now. It's funny. Me and my father were actually watching a documentary over the weekend, the 30 for 30 series, the bad boys of the Detroit Pistons in the late 80s and early 90s. That team was just really good, and you saw what Isaiah Thomas Sr. was able to do on the basketball court. Reminds me a lot of Isaiah Thomas Jr. on the Cavaliers now. Just the way he could score, the way, he felt his presence. He made his presence felt. And I think that's what Isaiah Thomas has to do this year. And, you can't just write on the fact that you got LeBron James, down low. So you got to, I don't think that's going to change anything.
I don't either.
But I think it's pretty obvious.
I think the bold prediction for the NBA. The NBA Finals will be, drum roll please, the Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. What a surprise!
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, no, it's not even going to be. It might be the Celtics. They might be able to get in there and overtake, but I don't see it because LeBron James
I'll
is
tell
just
you
that
what.
good.
I think it's going to be Cleveland and Houston.
You think I see nobody taking down Golden State?
I think there's a chance.
I don't-
think there's a very, very
Kevin
very slim
Durant,
chance.
Steph Curry.
Durant's the one I'm most worried about if I play in the West.
Yeah, Kevin Durant's
Durant's the best one.
top 5 player in the league.
Durant's top. I think he's 2 or
Top
3.
2 player in the league.
He
He is a very, very
He
good
gets
player.
very, very overlooked, especially with this deal now. Especially that he went to Golden State. Everybody thinks he's a coward. That doesn't take away from his playing ability.
That doesn't take away from the fact that he averaged 30 points
Right.
in the finals. Which
like-
is ridiculous.
I don't like the move he made either. I don't like the fact that he went, to the team that beat him, that it already is a powerhouse, and now with him it's just even more unstoppable. I don't like that
I don't
either.
care for it.
But
I don't
he's
care about
still one of the best pure athletes this game has ever seen.
Yes.
And I mean has ever seen in all of its history. Kevin Durant is up there.
He is
Definitely
he
is.
Absolutely
He
amazing.
has the talent. Everybody makes jokes that he's frail, that he doesn't bench much. Look what he's doing on the court. It doesn't matter. It does
He's
not
what,
matter.
6'8"?
Yeah.
6'8", like
He's 6'8",
6'8", and he can shoot over anybody.
and it's like
Lights out.
Yeah, and he can't bench like over 150 or something like that.
Don't need to be strong if you can just put it in.
It doesn't matter. He could dunk. He could shoot from wherever you want.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, again, just the sole fact that he went to this Golden State team and became the best player on the team with how good they already were,
Yeah.
I think that says a lot about his game.
Yeah.
He likes to compete, lives for it. I mean, it's tough. It's who's going to knock them off? I hope it's you. I don't mind Houston. I like James Harden.
I do
teammates
like
of him.
James
I
Harden.
also see.
Could you imagine if they kept those 3 in Oklahoma City?
Yep.
Harden,
Westbrook,
Durant.
and now they have Paul George.
And Paul.
Now
Oh
they
my
have Paul
God.
George.
Don't even get me started. But yeah, that's the NBA. We don't really. That's the most we've talked about the NBA in
Yeah.
a while, honestly.
Nice 12-minute segment on the NBA.
Yeah, we'll
That's that.
transition now into football just to get it over with, because Nick, I know you don't know the most about football.
I don't. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge football fan, but I tried to hold my own. I do know one thing. If we're going to talk about football, and
boy.
you might break your heart a little bit,
boy.
but you could agree with me.
Oh boy.
The Giants look like something out of a horror movie.
I don't even want. We can get into the Giants. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get into the Giants first. So the Giants played the Lions on Monday Night Football with Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham suited up and played. Nationally televised game. Odell Beckham played, but he didn't play. He played, but he didn't play. He was there mostly as a decoy. I'm 100% sure about that because he was not on the field all the time. Odell Beckham, when he is healthy, he never comes off the field.
Right.
He is out. He is the Giants. He is the Giants. We've seen now what happens when we don't have Odell Beckham. Look at 2015, the Vikings game. We got absolutely embarrassed on Monday Night Football by the Vikings. Then, week 1, Cowboys, the offense couldn't do anything. Now, week 2, we think, maybe we have it solved. But no, we scored 10 points against the Lions. The Lions do not have a great defense. What they do have is Ansah. I don't know his first name. Ezekiel? Is it Ezekiel? I don't think so.
I don't either.
But Ansah, the defensive end, who absolutely tore Eric Flowers apart. And Eric Flowers is the worst left tackle in the league without a doubt. Like, it's not even a question. You can look at the Giants' offensive line. They have 2 solid pieces on that offensive line. Justin Pugh and Weston Richburg. That is it. The left guard and the center are the only 2 good players on that offensive line. Other than that, they are a travesty. It is embarrassing to watch the New York Giants offense on the field because they can't run the ball. They can't throw the ball without Odell Beckham on the field. Eli Manning looks like an absolute imbecile. He looks like a rookie who just got drafted out of a Division III school. And frankly, Brandon Marshall dropped a pass on Monday night that was in his arms. We signed him to a 2-year, $12 million deal. Great contract, but he's not producing. He caught 1 ball in week 1, and he didn't do much better in week 2, and it shows with the drops. Now, Sterling Shepard is another guy that hasn't done anything. He did really well last year. He had 8 touchdowns. He was tied for the league with rookies. He was tied for the league in rookie wide receiver touchdowns. He has done absolutely nothing. The offense has done absolutely nothing. The only reason the Giants have not been absolutely obliterated 2 weeks in a row is because they have an insane defense led by Landon Collins, Jason Pierre-Paul, DRC, Janoris Jenkins. They have playmakers on defense. That is the only reason that they have not been absolutely obliterated, like the Cowboys got obliterated.
Wow, did they?
42-17 by the Broncos, and I love it.
At least the Cowboys they have a win though.
At least the Giants are only one game back.
I mean, that's true. I mean, again,
It is coming into week 3.
We are only 2 games in.
Yes.
But still, I mean, you see the way. I'm going to throw both of them in the same boat here. You see the way the Giants and the Jets have played in the last 2 weeks, and if you're just a New York football fan in general, I mean, I'm sorry, but these teams are abysmal.
Yeah.
They have to figure it out and fast. I mean, at least Jet fans kind of knew this was going to happen in their season because they don't really have much to cheer for. They don't have much to be excited about. Their team's not exciting. They don't have an exciting player anymore. Brandon Marshall went to the Giants. So did Geno Smith.
So did Damon Harrison.
Snacks. And there you go. I mean, it's just couldn't even tell you who the quarterback is.
Christian Hackenberg?
Yeah, Hackenberg, right.
I believe. I don't know if they gave him the start. I don't know. All I know is the Jets.
I think he started the second game and
he
didn't start the first one.
The Jets, though, there's a difference with the Giants and the Jets. The Giants, in the offseason, made this move to get Brandon Marshall. They draft a tight end, which we desperately needed, and Ingram looks absolutely great. He looks really good. He can be a star. But the problem is, we're expected to make the playoffs this year. This is a playoff team. They have what it takes. They have Eli Manning, a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, who's playing like a dumpster fire right now. They have Odell Beckham, the best wide receiver in the league. Yes, I said it. the greatest wide receiver in the league. And if you don't think so, see Vikings 2015 and our first 2 games this year. Without him, what did the Giants do? Absolutely nothing.
Got killed. They weren't even close. Didn't even deserve to be in the same game.
Did not. The only reason we didn't get killed this year is, like I said, the defense. But the Jets came into this year trading away all their veterans because they know they are a basement team this year.
Rebuild
They
mode.
have finally accepted it, and they have gone into rebuild mode, which good for them, honestly, because they had that whole debacle with the butt fumble and Mark Sanchez and Tebow was on the Jets.
Yeah.
They didn't know where they were. You know, they had Brandon Marshall, they had Eric Decker, 2 solid wide receivers. They almost made the playoffs. You know, they went 10-6 and missed the playoffs because they lost to the Bills. Funny enough, the Bills are terrible.
Yep.
But the Jets, you know, if you're a Jet fan, you expected this. If you're a Giants fan, you're looking like, what are we going to do? What can this offense do to turn it around? And for me, there's 3 things that I look at. First of all, we need to figure out what we're doing with this offensive line. Because Ben McAdoo came out and said, we can't do the same thing over and over. That's insanity. And then the next question that he answered was about Eric Flowers, and he said, yes, we're going to keep him as our left tackle. Like, that is doing the same thing over and over. And expecting Eric Flowers is a travesty. Anyway, the offensive line needs to be figured out. Second, we need some resemblance of a run game. Okay? Paul Perkins is okay. He's not great. He was a 5th-round draft pick. He's okay. But he's shown that he can make a guy miss. The problem is the Giants' offensive line can't create a hole for him to get into space to make a guy miss. That's another problem. And the third problem, the biggest problem that the Giants have, is the head coach. Yes, Ben McAdoo. This game was on him. He called an absolutely terrible game offensively. I don't know why Ben McAdoo is the guy calling plays. We had a 3rd and 8 on the very first drive of the game and handed the ball off on a draw play. What is that all about? You cannot... This Giants offensive line can barely get 8 yards through the air, never mind through the ground. I forgot where I was going with that, but anyway, McAdoo needs to be a better play caller because, okay, I remember now. The Lions had a 3rd and 12. What did they do instead of handing it off? They threw it up just to see what happens. They had one-on-one coverage. They threw it up to, I don't remember who it is, but Eli Apple was on coverage, and he got absolutely mossed, and the Lions scored. Good play call.
Right.
They threw it to the first down marker. Good for them. Eli Manning had like a 4th and 12 late in the game and threw it like a yard short of the fourth down of the first down marker. What? How do you not understand that you need, on 4th down, you need a first down to continue going, otherwise you're off the field? What is so hard about that? Why is Eli Manning checking down on 4th and 12? Throw it past the marker. If you throw an interception, oh well, you were going to turn it over on downs anyway.
Right.
Give your team a chance. I'm done talking about the Giants. I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's just making me mad.
It is. It gets frustrating because it's like the problems are right there in front of your face, and it's like how, excuse me, how can we, 2 college kids at a radio station, pick apart these problems, and the own team can't fix them?
No, they can't. But the problems are obvious. The issue is the head coach and the management. They did so well for like 2 years. Jerry Reese did really good. McAdoo did okay. He got us to the playoffs. Good for him. Now it's just we released King for some reason. Don't know why. But we released King, who went off in the playoff game we had last year. He went off. Just released him just because. I don't know why. But we just released him. Anyway. Other NFL news. The Buccaneers are 1-0.
Tampa.
I'm high on the Buccaneers. I am very high on the Buccaneers. They could win that division. I could see them winning that division.
And who they play? The Bears?
They played the Bears. The Bears stink, but still, like the Buccaneers. Winston's playing good.
Yep.
That defense is really good. They're going to get Doug Martin back eventually. They already got they picked up Deshaun Jackson in free agency. Mike Evans is a beast. they look like they could be doing something this year. I mean, yes, they only played one game. Their week 1 game was rescheduled because of the hurricane. By the way,
Right.
I'm very upset about the like
I know.
that rant made me
It
very
takes,
upset.
it takes a lot out of you because you're so passionate about the team. And no one likes to see their team do bad. I mean, we've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, all the time.
It's a little rough. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
That's sports for you.
Well,
That's
yeah.
what we do.
One game that I did want to talk about was the Eagles-Chiefs game. I don't know if you saw that at all, but the Eagles actually looked good, which is very scary.
Yeah.
Because their defensive line is ridiculously good.
Mhm.
They play the Giants on Sunday. Eli Manning might get hurt. I'm a little afraid for Eli Manning.
Very well could with this line.
This offensive line is terrible. Their defensive line is incredible. And we're probably going to go 0-3 to start the year. Then it's time to hit the panic button.
Yep, sure is.
Yep. The Raiders are 2-0. Love the Raiders. Absolutely love Derek Carr. He deserved every penny of that contract that he got. What was it? It was... I don't remember what the contract was, but at the time it was the biggest one in the NFL.
Wow.
Later to be passed by Matthew Stafford, who
Right.
deserved it.
Love it.
But I really like Derek Carr, 2nd-round pick. Always liked him. Even when he fell, I said, why is nobody taking Carr? He's going to be good. He's going to be good. And look at what he's doing now. He brought the Raiders to the playoffs last year, obviously got hurt, and we didn't get to see what they could do. But the Raiders are 2-0 right now, looking very good. Derek Carr is playing incredible. That defense is really good. I'm excited for the Raiders. They might be the ones to dethrone the Patriots.
They finally could be. It's about
They
time.
could. I want to see AFC Championship game, Raiders, Patriots, and I want the Tuck rule to somehow go against the Patriots, and I want them to get screwed over and lose. I can't stand the Patriots.
Really? Yeah, well, yeah, nobody can.
Absolutely can't stand them. If it wasn't for the Giants beating them twice, Brady would be 7-0 in the Super Bowl, which
Yep.
is incredible to think about.
Is he the greatest football player ever?
Yes, I think so. I think he's
A
the
lot
best
of-
quarterback ever.
I feel like a lot of modern day fans say that there's no question.
I
Tom
used to
Brady,
not say so, but
because
now I do.
There
Because
was there ever a clear cut like this guy's the best ever?
he was really good, but like
You
when
haven't-
you're down 24 points in the Super Bowl and you come back and win the game basically single-handedly, like he threw over 400 yards in the second half, I'm pretty sure. But when you do that, you are the greatest that's ever played the game because you just what was it? 3 minutes or something left in the game.
Yeah.
They were down 2 scores and somehow came back and tied it and won it in overtime. Like
I just don't like that. It was overtime, and they only got one chance at the ball, and the Falcons didn't even get to touch the ball.
that's another thing.
I
is
don't
the
like
overtime rules in the NFL need to be changed because it is sudden death if you score a touchdown. But if you kick a field goal, then the other team gets the chance to tie the game, and then it's sudden death. Or if they score a touchdown, it's game over. It's confusing. Just let them play a full quarter, or adapt the college rules. Everybody starts from I think the 40. You got like 20 yards for a first down, and just go, just try and score. Oh God, the NFL is turning into a joke. Honestly, it's turning into it.
the NBA syndrome.
Yeah, because who's good? Oh, the Patriots are good.
Patriots are good.
Oh, whoop-de-doo. What a surprise.
That's what I'm saying. It gets annoying after a while. It really does.
Somehow the Carolina Panthers are 2-0. I have no idea how. They beat the Bills 9-3.
They beat 9-3.
9-3.
There
What a boring game.
There wasn't a touchdown score.
There was not a touchdown scored. What a boring game that must have been. I didn't watch it, but my friend was there. He said it was the most boring game he's ever seen.
I believe it. It's tough.
Yeah.
My brother's actually a Panthers fan.
Is he?
He loves it.
I
He
can't
loves-
stand the Panthers.
I feel like a lot of people have said that to me too.
Well, I
Things
don't like
happen.
Cam Newton, and I don't like North Carolina at all.
We've covered that.
So, yeah.
He
That's
wasn't
enough.
even happy when they drafted him. He wanted somebody else.
Did he? Where did he want to
But
go?
I have no idea.
I mean, it's
But-
Cam Newton. He's always going to say something.
Of course.
Yep. But the NFL, good news about the NFL is that there's still a lot of time left in the season.
Only
So
2 games
a lot
in.
of teams can turn it around.
Oh yeah, of course.
But teams that can't turn it around really are teams that are playing baseball right now because that season's almost over. We're
Season's
getting
over.
down to it here
So,
in the MLB.
For some teams, the season can't end quick enough.
yeah, right?
For teams that start with New York, end in Ets. If you catch my drift.
I would love to talk about the
Oh.
travesty that they are.
What a shame, man.
What a
It's
terrible
really-
team.
it's-
What a terrible team. It makes me laugh that 2 years ago they can go to the World Series.
I always said that 2 years ago wasn't the time for the Mets. I think it was just they got hot at the right time. They were playing out of their minds. They beat 2 pitchers that had less than 5 losses of the season and over 20 wins. Kershaw had 19, and I think Arrieta had like 23, and they beat the Dodgers and the Cubs in the same round. The same round. In the
Same
same
round. Wow, that's
in-
pretty good for them.
Yeah, right. In the same
In the same
playoff. I mean, that's unheard of. When you have who was batting?
playoffs. Nobody apparently.
Dude, like who was?
Well, the Mets. I mean, you got Conforto, who what did he throw out his arm swinging?
Yeah, he like tore or fractured his collarbone, and he very well might miss next season as well, which would just be a knife right through the heart.
Really?
Yeah,
They're saying it's that bad.
it very well could be.
What is the actual injury that he
I
has?
think it was a clavicle bone tear.
Ooh, that's
And that requirement, that rehab assignment, is 8 to 12 months, which is a year, obviously. So
wow.
it's very now. This is you want
Enjoy the draft pick.
I guess, but you want to talk about upside. This guy had it. He had everything.
Yeah.
This guy's going to be. You know how we talk about constantly that the Rangers don't have a superstar,
Yeah.
and the only superstar we really do have it would be like Lundqvist. He's like our guy.
Really.
The Mets don't. The Mets. I feel like the Mets and the Rangers are very similar in the aspect that the Mets don't
The
have.
Mets have Cespedes. They have
They-
DeGrom.
Yeah, well,
They
okay.
have Syndergaard.
I was gonna say Syndergaard and DeGrom equals what Lundqvist is as far as the goalie, but you still need
True.
a forward.
True.
The Mets need the hitter, and Cespedes.
Cespedes is getting
is-
up there in age.
He's getting older, yeah, and he's more of a flashy player.
He
I
is.
wouldn't call him a superstar player. I think he's under the second team. I think he's on
Yes,
the second
that's-
level of
I know
superstardom.
exactly what you mean by that.
You
That's
know,
where I would put him. is
I
second
wouldn't
level.
give
he's
him-
a great player. Don't get
Yeah,
me
he's
wrong.
good.
He's
He's
incredible.
He's lazy in the field because
I mean, what MLB player isn't lazy in the field? Sometimes I can't watch baseball because they walk. Like on a ground out to end the inning. Yeah, just
well, yeah, they
They'll just walk.
Right, they don't
even
run it
if
out.
even if it's like a ground ball in the hole where like if he would have run he might have beat it out,
Right.
You know, or at least forced a bad throw. These guys just slowly jog
Yeah,
like
they
10
tiptoe.
feet down the line and then they give up. I
Well-
don't. It's terrible. They're all lazy.
What pisses me off about Cespedes' game is that there'll be a ground ball hit to him, right, and it'll go off his glove or a line drive or whatever, and he'll purposely boot it and walk over to it and take as much time as possible when the guy's going from first to third, because then he thinks he's going to throw him out at third because his arm is so powerful.
He does have
But then if he's a
one of
second,
the best arms.
yeah,
in the
he does.
game.
But then if he's a step late because he's so lazy, then the close play ends up being safe, and now it's second and third, first and third. So I mean, it's just I don't understand the aspect of it. Like it drives general managers nuts. The fact that they just I don't know. Like how do you even keep him in the lineup? So how do you keep him in the lineup? He on the Mets lineup. Yeah, he's the fourth batter. He's the best batter. He's the most powerful batter. He should be able to hit anywhere between 27 and 35 home runs. Maybe on a good year, maybe 40, maybe that's a stretch. But he still has all the power in the world to do that. I just don't understand. His swing is explosive. He's got a very powerful bottom half. His weight shifts. I mean, he's got it all. It's like he chooses when he wants to play. He'd rather show up to practice in a rocket ship and make headlines that way instead of going 3 for 5 with 2 home runs.
You know who can go 3 for 5 with 2 home runs? Michael Conforto. But
Conforto could too. Conforto wouldn't be probably the.
I would just like to say that Aaron Judge is better than Michael Conforto.
All right, see, I could have this argument with you. I would love to, because I'll compete. I know you
will. Yeah.
Because at the time of Conforto's injury, he had a better average. Obviously, he had less RBIs because who the hell gets on base for the Mets? And I mean, he had 20-something home runs. He had a high 20 home run number.
How many games did he play this year?
Conforto?
Yeah.
He started the first week. He wasn't on the team.
Really?
Yeah, he wasn't starting on the team.
He played 109 games.
A little more than half the season.
A little more than half. He hit 279, 113 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases, 68 ribbies, which is pretty good. 27 home runs, a triple, 2 doubles, and 104 hits.
27 home runs for Michael Conforto. He was
in 373 at bats, which is okay. It's not terrible.
For a player like Conforto, I think that number is outstanding. This guy's not supposed to be a 35 home run hitter.
Yeah.
This guy, he's not supposed to be this, and this is also a guy who went everywhere from the lineup. He went number 1, he batted 2nd, he batted 3rd, he batted 4th, 5th, all the way to 6th. He went 1 through 6 variously in the lineup. This guy has potential. He's got the glove. He's got a better defense than Judge. Yes, I said it.
Wow. Better arm?
Yes.
It's very hard to have a better arm than a guy that's 6'7".
I agree.
I will tell you that much.
I agree.
282 pounds.
I mean, he's a powerhouse. I get it.
He's huge.
But he really, I've witnessed, I was at a game in Citi Field when I saw Conforto throw somebody out flat-footed from center field.
Good for him.
It was one of the more incredible things I've seen in a baseball game.
Good for him.
Hit him on a line like it was ideal. He's got the speed, he's got the agility, he's got the playmaking skills. This is a player I'm very excited for, being a Mets fan.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge, I would be excited for as a Yankee fan.
As a Yankee fan, I can tell you right now, I'm very happy with the way things are looking because we missed the playoffs 2 years in a row?
Yes.
I couldn't believe it. The Yankees were bad.
Yeah.
It was weird. Yankees are never bad.
Teams are entitled to be bad.
the Yankees are never bad. What's that all about? No, but really, though, the Yankees have done a very good job rebuilding because instead of going out and spending a lot of money on overpriced veterans, they actually built from within for once.
Except Matt Holliday.
Except Matt Holliday, but he doesn't play
all
the time. He's just kind of our DH every once in a while, but...
Fair.
But we've had Gardner for forever now.
Yep.
Didi, I don't remember where he came from.
Arizona.
Really? On a trade or free agent?
Free agent.
Okay. Didi Gregorius broke the shortstop home run record that was held by Derek Jeter.
I think that's incredible. First year as a Yankee in Yankee Stadium, you break Derek Jeter's record.
Second year.
Gregorius?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. When was Jeter's last year?
14?
He didn't play last year, so yeah.
Or
he's out at least 3.
Stats. We'll look at his stats.
You also had Steven Drew for a year at short, though. So I think Didi came in.
Didi came in 2015.
Yeah.
15, 16, and 17. He hit 9 home runs. Then he hit 20 home runs, and now he's at 25 home runs. And he missed a month of the season.
Yeah. And he was playing the ukulele. That was interesting.
He graduated.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, don't remember his name.
You never know what you're going to see here.
Don't remember his name. Anyway, Speaking of the Yankees, anyway, they are only 3 games out from first place, which is great, absolutely great, because I don't want to be the wild card team. You got to play an extra game. It sucks.
It does, and you know what? You know what's crazy about this? See, this is where, bless you, it would drive fans mad if you don't have it that day, and let's say you play, I don't know, the Angels or the Twins, and they have it that day, and you guys lose, you're done. Season's over.
Yeah.
And then the Angels. Hello, my advisor, Professor Radford. How are
Professor
you?
Radford, how are you doing?
Very good.
Yes.
So
The
I
head
think-
of the communications department.
Yes, the head.
Yes.
Of communica- Am I live? Yes.
Yes.
I say hi.
Dr. Radford,
Dr.
the head of the
Radford.
communications department here on Fairleigh Dickinson.
and my advisor
mine too.
and my professor on Tuesdays and Fridays.
For you, there is a Pink Floyd like thing going on that he's in. Apparently,
He's
I want
in
to
a
go
band.
see that.
He's in a band. He's very.
wanna
good.
go see that.
Very good. I love that man.
Oh, yeah, he's a great guy.
He's a very
He's funny.
good guy. Very smart. But
Anyway,
getting back to
back to baseball, what really matters here?
I mean, again, they have it and they don't, and then all of a sudden, a team like the Angels, a team like the Twins, has to go play in a 5-game or 7-game series against what, the Astros or against the Red Sox? Are they
Yeah.
really going to compete with them? I'm sorry, I don't think they could. Can the Yankees compete with anybody in the American League? Yes,
Yes,
they can.
They can. I
Yes,
think they can beat Houston. I think
Houston. Yes.
I don't think.
I think Houston can be beaten this year, except Justin Verlander. I just want to say, watch out, because Justin Verlander has found his game again. He
never really.
He
found
never.
it in
He never
Detroit.
lost it. I don't-
He got traded to Detroit,
He got
right?
No. He was.
He was always with
He was
Detroit.
brought up with Detroit.
Now I must be thinking of something.
Yeah,
else.
and now he's on Houston,
Good for him.
pitching
On a
lights
good
out.
team.
Hasn't had a bad game. I mean, just lights out.
It's incredible what happens when you get put on a team that has a chance
and actually wants to
to
play.
make-
Yeah.
to make the playoffs instead of 62 and 90
The Keuchel
in the absolute basement of the league.
the Keuchel Verlander mix is really one to watch out for.
Yeah, that might be the best 1-2.
For some reason,
In baseball.
in the playoffs, it might be right behind. I think it might be number 2 behind Clayton Kershaw and now Hugh Darvish of the Dodgers. Darvish on the
How has Darvish been playing?
Darvish's numbers in his career are very, very solid. Another guy that's very underappreciated, I feel like. He's got that superstardom type, but nobody really kind of gives him that type of credit, but he definitely deserves it.
Yeah.
He also missed a year and a half due to Tommy John surgery. That could be a big factor, I understand that. But now you're talking the playoffs. This is a whole different animal. Los Angeles in the playoffs, I mean, it's like nothing anybody's ever seen before. One of the most, if not the most historic franchise in the league, maybe behind the Yankees. I mean, fans are in it, players are in it, management's in it. Everybody's invested in this team.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before they pull off, but I don't know when that time's coming. It could be this year. But getting back to the American League, Houston, I would love to see a Houston-Cleveland matchup in the.
Houston, Cleveland, and then Boston Yankees. That'd be 2 great series right
It
there.
would be a great series. I don't know exactly how it works. I think it goes by record.
So, the wild card would obviously
Be the Yankees and
play the
whoever.
1 seed. They'd play the 1 seed in the American League, right?
Right. So
They're the
that
wild
would
card.
be
So they'd be Cleveland, unless Houston overtakes Cleveland, which is possible because they're only a game and a half behind.
Is it only a game and a half?
Only a game and a half in like the actual regular season standings.
Right.
So Boston is not going to make it. They are 7 games out
of first place.
of having the best record.
Yeah,
in the
right.
league.
Of first place in the American League.
They
Right.
won't make it. So it's going to either be Cleveland or Houston. But the other thing that could happen is the Yankees could pass Boston because they are only 3 games out. the Yankees could come up past Boston and be a division leader, not have to play that wild card game. Could you imagine the turn of events if Boston loses their division lead and then loses their wild card game? What a turn that would be.
That would be quite
Which is
the turn.
why then the talks would begin about this one-game playoff. Because that would be disastrous for the MLB.
I agree. But the only problem is, how do you go about fixing it?
Three-game series. It's 3 games. It's 2 extra games. It's 2 extra games.
And it's just like the regular season. It's just like another regular
It's
season.
it's just like another series in the playoffs.
Right.
That's all it is.
I mean, I don't
one
mind
game.
it. I don't mind that. I really don't. A 3-game. I don't think it should be any more. And
I don't think it should be. I don't like the 5-game series, to be honest. I think both of the ALCS and the World Series should both be 7-game series. But I wouldn't mind a 3-game playoff series.
Right.
Or a wild card series. I wouldn't mind that at all. It's 3 games. Like you're already playing 1. You just got to play 2 more.
It's manageable. It's doable for sure.
Yeah. Let's go to the National League. We haven't talked about the National League yet. They're not as close as a race for the wild card, but it's starting to heat up again as Milwaukee's only a game back and St. Louis is 2.5 back. I feel like last week they were even farther behind.
They were. St. Louis were on a tear. And what are the Cubs' record?
The Cubs are 84-67.
And what are they up?
They are up in their division. They are up by 3.5 games over Milwaukee.
And I'll tell you what.
And 5 games over St. Louis.
Well, that's going to stay, and I'll tell you why.
Because the Cubs are hot.
7 in a row.
7 in a row.
7 in a row. I mean,
they just lost.
This is the time period where
they just lost yesterday. The Cubs.
Yeah, they lost their streak as the Cleveland lost last week. Now, this is the time of the year where teams turn it on, and the teams that are playing good baseball at this time are the teams that will go far in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yankees, if the
Yankees are hot.
If the Yankees are hot, if the Yankees do finish in the wild card spot and they come to play in that game, watch out for them. They can give Cleveland a run for their money. They can give Houston a run for their money.
They have the power. They have the power in the lineup to do it. Sanchez and Judge single-handedly could beat any team because we got Severino, who's turned into an absolute ace.
Yep.
Sonny Gray, who's playing really good.
Haven't had a bad start.
Hasn't had a bad start.
Except L1.
CeCe, who is old, but every once in a while he's been playing very good baseball recently.
He has.
Tanaka had a good outing recently. You know, I'd like him to be the 3 behind Severino, then Sonny Gray,
and
Tanaka, and CeCe.
That's most likely what it would be in the
I think it
playoffs.
should be a 4-man rotation in the playoffs, to be honest.
Interesting. Usually, I don't know why teams usually go 3.
3.
I think it's short rest.
I like that shirt. Respect shirt. I have that shirt.
There you go. Respect.
Respect with the 2 as the S with Jeter.
Yeah, disrespect.
Oh, wow. Disrespect. You don't like Jeter? You don't like Derek Jeter? You don't respect Derek Jeter? No? Okay.
I'm happy.
Are you just a salty Met fan?
No, I'm not actually. I never liked him. Even when I was a fake Yankee fan, I didn't like him.
A fake Yankee fan.
At least I admit being fake. It's funny because one of the guys that I worked with over at MLB this summer also didn't like Derek Jeter, and I've never met anybody who didn't like Derek Jeter as much as I did.
I don't understand how people don't like Derek Jeter. What's wrong with Derek Jeter?
I don't know. Something about him.
Something about him?
Overhyped for no reason.
Overhyped for no reason. Wow, okay.
Hot take. Anyway.
First ballot Hall of Famer, easily.
Yes.
Easily.
Probably,
definitely.
Getting back to that,
back to the National League.
What I was going to say about the Red Sox.
Oh, real quick, before we move back on to that, I want to stay National League. Real quick, the Cubs' next series is against Milwaukee. Absolutely huge series for Milwaukee.
Well, if the Brewers can sweep them, then they'd be right back into it.
Yeah, they'd be right back in it.
I mean, hey, anything's possible, but still.
Yeah. Even if they win the series, but don't sweep them, they gain a game.
They do. Sure do.
So Boston. How do you feel about Boston? The racists up there in Fenway.
Their pitching staff is just all too good to lose in the playoffs.
Their fans are the worst.
No comment.
No comment? Okay.
No comment to Boston fans.
Yeah, you like Boston. I don't get it.
I like the Red Sox. That's
You like-
about the only Boston team I like.
You
I didn't
like
mind
the
the Celtics.
I
don't mind
I just
them.
don't like New England teams.
Well, yeah. The Bruins I can't stand, and the Patriots are the Patriots.
Patriots are the cheaters of sports. So anyway,
So Boston, I think Chris Sale can win a World Series by himself. Let him pitch every.
he got to
let him
300 strikeouts in the fewest innings pitched.
let him pitch every single game.
Yeah.
They won't lose.
That's true.
They will not lose a game. David Price come out of the bullpen. They got Eduardo Rodriguez. They got Drew Pomerantz. Price on the back end. Kimbrel in the bullpen. Their lineup is pretty crowded, 1 through 9. I think this could be Boston's year too.
I don't see it.
A
I don't
lot of-
see it. I don't see them. I don't see Boston getting past Cleveland. I don't see Boston getting past the Dodgers.
A lot of excitement in this playoff. A lot of excitement.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on from baseball. Let's get your. Let's go final predictions real quick. Who are the 2 wild card teams in the East? Or I'm sorry, the American League. My bad.
I got a feel.
I was very
You
confused
meant
for a
it's
second.
okay.
The American League,
I'm going to say the Yankees,
obviously.
and
I
I'm
don't.
going
I
to
think they're like 2 games away from clinching.
and I'm going to. Man, I don't know. The second
There's
It's
so
tough.
many teams within 4 games. 4 games is a lot, but it's also not a lot at the same time.
I mean, unless somebody drastically starts to turn it on.
Minnesota's lost 3 in a row. The Angels have lost 3 in a row.
Hot take. I'll give me the. I wouldn't. Well, first of all, let me just say I wouldn't mind seeing the Twins finish in the spot. I don't think they will. Actually, I think there's a very good chance they do. I don't know why I said that. I think there's a good chance they do, especially because the Angels have lost 3 straight. I'm going to say the Angels, though.
I would
I
like
would-
to see Seattle come in.
I would too. I love Seattle.
I do like
I
Seattle. I,
remember
like Cano. Cano is one of my favorite players. In the
I
league.
said that at the end of last semester on our last show. I thought Seattle is the real deal,
And then you said in the National League, watch out for Arizona.
yes,
And
and I was
guess
right about
who's-
that.
Guess who's?
Because that was only a matter of time.
So you're saying the Yankees and the Angels? I'm going with the Yankees, and Seattle comes out of nowhere.
I would love it
to take that other
Here's
spot.
the thing, though, because if Seattle does come out of nowhere, that means they're
they're hot.
That
means
means
they're
they're
hot.
most likely going to be the team playing the best baseball at the moment.
Probably. Even Tampa, even if Baltimore somehow comes out 5.5 games.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot, but never say never.
The only reason I say the Angels is because Mike Trout needs to know what a playoff atmosphere is like. This
Yeah.
guy has been in the league 7 years already, and he has not yet made the playoffs.
He
That
needs
is a
to.
problem, and it's not his fault. The
LA's
guy's
going to lose him.
The guy's I think so. The guy's literally doing all that he can by himself to put this team on his back with an aging, hurt Albert Pujols. The machine is broken down. Cole Calhoun is not Cole Calhoun the way he used to be,
Right.
with his 280, 290 consistent average. Andrelton Simmons is there strictly for defense. His offense was there in the beginning of the season. It's not there anymore. And that's really about it. They traded Cameron Maben to the Astros. They didn't get much in return for him. And they got C.J. Cron at DH first base, another guy that only hits home runs. That's not a lineup that could be constructed in a playoff atmosphere.
Yeah.
But Mike Trout by himself is. Guy bats .330. He's a two-time. He's a
He could be an MVP of the league.
He's a reigning MVP, a reigning
Right.
two-time
Right.
MVP.
Right.
No doubt he's going to be a finalist for the MVP this year. Don't know if he wins, but
Aaron
that's a
Judge.
different story.
Aaron Judge.
No.
No, probably not.
No.
Rookie of the year, maybe.
Yes, I think that's fair
Not
to say.
MVP.
So I think the Yankees will play the
Sanchez.
Angels. I think they'll probably beat them unless Mike Trout hits 5 home runs by himself.
Well, let's hope that doesn't
All he
happen.
has to do-
I'm going Yankees Seattle. I like Seattle. Actually, no.
I would like
I'm
to-
changing it. I'm changing my teams. Boston and Seattle.
Boston and Seattle. You think the Yankees? Get
I think
wild card?
the Yankees are they're 8-2 in their last 10 games.
I know. They are.
But then
playing
again,
amazing.
the Red Sox are 7-3.
They're playing great.
They're playing great baseball. A lot of people playing good baseball.
And in the West, I don't. To
The
be
National
honest,
League?
I don't know.
The-
Yeah.
yeah. It basically is. Almost.
I think it's set. I think.
You think it's set? You don't think
anything
Milwaukee
can-
comes?
No, I don't think anything's going to change.
I don't either. I think Arizona, Colorado take the wild cards.
Wait, Milwaukee's only 1 game back.
Yeah.
Are they only one game back?
Yeah, from Colorado.
No, I think Colorado was way too good to lose that spot, and if they do, then shame on them.
Yeah, well,
They
they're
had-
they're only five. The
They-
two wild card teams are 5-5 in their last. 10.
They've been in this spot all season.
True.
They deserve it.
They do deserve
They're,
it.
They have 2 MVP finalists on the same team. How impressive is that?
Yeah.
Like, without a question, it should be these 2 finalists for MVP.
Yeah.
Nolan Arenado and Charlie Blackmon. Charlie Blackmon, what he could do out of the leadoff spot is like anything I've ever seen before. Who the third guy is for that MVP race is beyond me because you have so many
There's so
options.
many. There's many
There's-
players that just came out this year as absolute studs.
There are 5 legitimate MVP candidates for the National League. 2 of them are which not on playoff teams.
Who?
Joey Votto of the Cincinnati Reds.
Joey Votto's always a good player. To
I
put
mean,
up
numbers are outstanding.
there. Yeah.
And Giancarlo Stanton,
Stanton,
Mr. 55 home runs.
He just beat Griffey out,
Did he?
or tied him. He
Yeah,
just
I think
tied
he-
Griffey.
He tied him. He hit one yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, I hope he gets 60. I really
I
do.
think he's got it.
You think Judge got 50? He needs 5 more.
Going to be close.
It's gonna be close. He might end on 49, which would
That
really stink. Could you imagine?
Well, A-Rod stopped at career
698 or 699?
697. I don't know how he didn't sign for half a year and just hit 3 and end it. But good for him because I don't want him to have 700.
Yeah, I'm not an A-Rod fan. I used to be, but no, I don't like A-Rod. He can 696 by the way for
I thought
A-Rod.
it was 3. Oh, it's 7. Okay. Anyway,
4 home runs. He could have easily done that. Anyway,
so Stanton, I don't think Stanton's there just because he would only be there because of the home runs.
yeah.
I understand that's pretty remarkable,
The
but,
Marlins
but he's also
they're gonna trade him.
an MVP shouldn't be batting under 270, and he is, and that's a problem to me. Because everybody else is doing better in every other category except home runs, and
Right.
their teams in the playoffs. You know, it's
Where do you think Stanton goes? Because I'm hearing a lot about him being traded
I am as well, and it would be pretty scary if he ends up.
on a playoff
They
team
would, well, yeah, but I mean now that
in New York.
he's not going to a playoff team now.
No,
Like,
it'll be next year
He'll finish the season out in Miami.
for sure.
But
Who's going to want that contract? That's a hefty contract. 300 and
I'll
what
tell you
million
what, I
over 10
think,
years? It
yeah,
was at the time.
135 or some crazy like
How
that.
many more years are left on that deal? 7?
I think it was brand new. Yeah, it's like you
Yeah.
got like 7 or 6 years
Yeah.
at least. The scary thing is I could see him going into a contender like a Boston Red Sox, like a Los Angeles Dodger.
13 years, 325 million. That was 2014, so he still has 10 years. That
So
is
who's
a
going to
lot.
want Stanton for 10 more years? I mean, again, I think the Red Sox can do it. I think the Dodgers can do it. I think
Well, if the Red Sox are interested,
maybe
the
a
Yankees better be
rebuilding.
interested.
Who knows? Maybe a rebuilding team like Atlanta might take on something like that.
Maybe.
Maybe he could stay in the division. Maybe the Mets can take him. I don't know. Wishful thinking.
Yeah,
No,
right.
that's definitely not going to happen.
Yankees,
I wish.
Yankees could buy him if they wanted.
Yankees by everybody. But
Well,
I
they
don't know.
can. Best team in New York.
Your MVP.
So my MVP,
Both sides.
both sides. Oh boy, I don't know if I know enough about the National League. My MVP is probably. I mean, how can you not say Stanton? Like, I get that his stats aren't good, but Stanton he's almost hit 60. When was the last time somebody hit 60?
Good point.
When was I'm actually
McGuire, Sosa,
really that's the last time somebody hit 60.
Griffey, or
If he hits
maybe Ryan Howard.
If
maybe
he gets 60, he wins MVP in my eyes because 60 home runs is a great number.
it is outstanding.
It's almost a home run every other game. It's very close.
Especially Alex Gordon just set the record for home runs in a single season.
Yeah.
2,390. That's a lot of home runs this year. I did not think it was that many. But you make a valid point. And how about the American League? Do the Twin Towers win? Stand for one side and
It's got to be Judge. if he hits 50.
Last one to hit 60, by the way,
Who?
Barry Bonds.
Well, that doesn't count.
Right.
So
Right.
now the question still stands: who's the last one to hit 60?
That means
Because so
McGuire
it's
and
McGuire and Sosa.
they don't count either.
True. So who was the last one? Has anybody hit 60 then?
Purely?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Let me.
Somebody has hit 60 purely. That's for sure. So the question still raises. It's pretty sad, though, when you have to think about who.
Who actually hit the most home
Who-
runs and
yeah.
stuff like that? Yeah. So Roger Maris and Babe Ruth
Yeah, that
are
was,
the only two to hit 60 or more, besides Sosa, McGuire, and Bonds. So
There you go.
So,
So
he's
you're going
there.
back- you're
Stanton's at 56. The last time somebody was this high up, 2002, A-Rod hit 57.
There you go. Does that count? When
2002, so
When was he on roids?
I don't think he was on roids in 2002. That was
Well, he was on
15 years ago.
He was on roids before he came to the Yankees.
Was he?
On either Texas or Seattle, and then they busted him while he was on the Yankees. That was what happened.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's
So probably doesn't count.
there you go.
There
So
you go.
we're looking at Roger Maris.
Could you imagine if
And
Stanton
Babe
got
Ruth.
caught? I would be so upset.
I would be too.
I would be, because I like Stanton.
I do
like
too.
him. I feel like anybody that gets busted now is just they're done. You get caught now, nobody really likes you anymore.
Well, I lost a lot of respect for Ryan Braun when that happened.
Yeah, me too.
He's a player that I didn't think needed it. Nelson Cruz, another player that I didn't think needed it. D. Gordon, another player I didn't think needed it. Look how small that guy is.
Yeah, he's tiny. But
well.
yep, Stanton and Bautista hit 54 in 2010. How about it? Ryan Howard hit 58 in 2006.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
And 2007 A-Rod, 2006 Ortiz. Chris Davis with 53 in 2013. Anyway, my MVP has got to be Judge.
Judge and Stanton.
Judge
So
and Stanton.
Twin Towers
Yeah.
win MVP.
Yeah. What about you?
For the American League, I will go with Jose Altuve of
The
the
Peck?
Houston Astros. And in the
I
National
do like
League,
Altuve.
great player.
Yeah.
Great player. All 5'0" nothing.
Yeah, right.
The National League, oh man, it's so tough because I think it equally belongs to three people:
Who?
Nolan Arenado, Charlie Blackmon, and Paul Goldschmidt.
Paul Goldschmidt's having it.
That
Great
man
year.
is one of the best pure baseball players in the league,
I like Goldschmidt.
bar none. I mean,
How
bar
old is
none.
he? How old is he?
Goldschmidt,
Yeah.
he's
He's
got to
getting
be
up
like
there, right?
27,
Well, okay.
20, like.
So he has a few years under his belt.
Oh, he's got experience,
Yeah.
but he's got enough to be a veteran, to be a captain.
So
he's got
who's it going
enough
to be?
to-
So who's it going to be?
I think it's going to be one of the two.
One of the two?
It's one of the two Rockies, hopefully.
I think it should be Goldsmith, honestly.
When I look at Goldschmidt, it's the fact that he does it offensively and he does it defensively as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Gold
wins?
Glove.
Who wins Rookie of the Year?
Aaron Judge,
What about National League?
Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, it got to be.
It has to be.
Without a doubt. That was too easy.
I mean, I don't think there's any debate. You know.
No, definitely not. I mean, Judges hit 40. Judges hit 45 in his full rookie year. You
It
know,
is
he
his
played.
full-
He
it is
played
his full
last
rookie
year.
year.
A
He
little
only-
bit, but
yeah.
this is his rookie year.
Yep.
And Bellinger's hit how many?
38.
And he missed.
He's
He missed a long time.
Yeah.
He missed like what, a month and a half?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he's another one that didn't start the season right away.
Exactly. Yeah.
He came up midway through, and that was the end of that. So
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's baseball. I think we're at the hour and 3-minute mark. Let's go to hockey. Let's move on to hockey because
World Series.
World Series.
Prediction?
Yankees Dodgers.
Fair.
Be a great World Series.
It would.
I would love that World Series. Just because the Yankees would be in it.
All right. So
Anyway, over
all
to
right,
hockey.
Last topic.
The Rangers
Before we get
played
outta here.
again yesterday, and rookie man Philip. It's not Cheidel. It is not Cheidel. It is Philip Heidel. The
Heidel.
C is silent.
Heedle, I think. I thought it was
Heidel.
Heedle.
Heidel. He is.
The C is silent.
He's
and that's-
Czech.
I think so.
He's
We'll
Czech.
check.
He
We'll
is
finish.
Czech. No, he's definitely checked because they almost didn't let him come play because of some deal with his country. I don't know. Anyway,
2 games in.
2 games in,
A preseason.
preseason.
And I understand.
We saw Shattenkirk
I understand.
in a Ranger jersey.
I understand we
There's
only-
a Judge jersey. I like it. It's fake though because it has its name. It has the name on the back.
Right, of course.
So not a real
Oh,
fan.
but it's Matt Grenade, though. I like him.
Yeah, but
Oh,
he's
that's
got.
very fake, actually.
Yeah, the letters looked off
Yeah,
color.
yeah,
Honestly.
they were. I don't like fake jerseys.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay.
So,
So
hockey.
2 games in.
2 games in.
I understand it was the Devils and the Islanders, both teams I could see being pretty much in the bottom of the Metropolitan Division.
But maybe I could also see both teams making a push. Especially the
I see the
Islanders.
Devils-
They ended with 97 points last year.
I see the Devils making more of a push than the Islanders, I think. Heather.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't really, I don't know, but anyway, all right. Preseason, 2 games, 2 non-playoff teams, right? But here's the thing: from a Rangers fans' perspectives, we looked very, very good.
Yes, both games we looked absolutely incredible.
Let me-
And there's a couple of people that I've had my eye on going into preseason. We knew who we wanted to look at. We wanted to see how D'Angelo looked.
Of course.
We wanted to see how our 2 draft picks, Anderson, who was 7th overall, and Hedel, who was I think 23rd, 21st 21st overall. Who Hedel turned 18 this month.
Crazy.
And he was the most noticeable New York Ranger on the ice yesterday.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
was everywhere.
He was.
Did you remember that play he made where he was like even with the goal line
Yep.
and then came up and around and like toe dragged the puck with
Yeah,
him
through
and then
2 people.
and then got
Yep.
it over to Zuccarello who put one on goal. This kid is something.
He is.
This kid is something.
creating the opportunity out of nothing. Now,
Winning the game in overtime, might I add, that was an incredible shot.
It was.
Absolutely perfect. And it's the little things that I noticed. I was watching him that entire time we were set up in the zone. Zook had the puck on the left side, and Heidel was set up on the right. Right before Zook passed it to him, Heidel moved back just a little bit. Just a little bit to give Zuccarello a little more room because you could see at the angle he was at, somebody was going to be able to get to it. But right at the last, he moves back just a little bit to give Zuccarello enough space to get it to him perfectly, and he couldn't have put the puck in his hand and placed it in a nicer spot.
Yep.
It was incredible. I'm so excited for these 2 kids.
Preseason, it's all about the new faces, right? It's
Show
all
what you
about-
can do.
Show what you could do. Make a case for yourself, especially if you're on that outside type of looking in,
Right.
battling for a
Neil
spot on the
Pionk.
team, right?
Neil
exactly.
Pionk.
First goal scorer in the first game.
Preseason, yep.
So, you see the young kids and you like what they're doing, right? And while all of that looks good, then you look at the veterans who seem like they got a little bit of more rust to shake off. The players that aren't battling for a spot. I mean, Mark Stahl looked clueless again.
He took a penalty.
Like
Yeah, Mark
changed.
Stahl is always clueless, but good on AV for saying that he has to fight for a spot.
I agree.
Good on AV for not saying, Stahl has a spot on
He
this
also
team.
looked very slow, if I might add.
He had, I think, like 2 very good plays on the power play. The penalty kill. He had a good play, breaking up a pass, and I think that's about it. That's about it.
Yeah.
That's all I saw out of Mark Stahl.
He's invisible. But again, these are the type of games where your focus is more shifted towards the new guys, the rookies, the newcomers. Shattenkirk looked amazing. He looked like he fit right in. Now he's going to be the quarterback of the power play.
He better
That's
be.
a given.
He better be.
That's a given. And you could just see in the way he played yesterday, as the way he walked that blue line, the way he possessed that puck, the way he shot the puck, the way he set up plays. Literally everything that he did yesterday was just it was like
Perfect.
Oh, it was like
It's poetry
flawless.
in motion.
It was like flawless. It was just and I could get used to this being a season that he'd fit right in. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just so perfect. It's right there for him. I just hope we help him. I hope Lundqvist lives up to.
Lundqvist looked
Everything
very
that he
good
could
in the
do.
first game. He had a few very good saves. You know,
Yeah.
coming off of that
Only played a game and a half, but it works still.
that
whatever.
knee injury he had. What was it? His MCL
Yeah,
MCL injury, strained MCL from the IIHF tournament where he won gold. He won gold.
Sure did.
Good for him.
Sure did.
The only thing he has to cross off now is a Stanley Cup.
Literally the. Only
That is the
thing.
only thing Henrik Lundqvist has not won, and he deserves it more than anyone in the league, in my opinion.
I don't know.
Maybe Ovechkin, but I don't like Ovechkin, so I got to put Lundqvist up there.
That's biased between.
Yeah, that's
Rangers
my
fans because I feel
bias.
the same way. But no doubt Ovechkin does deserve it as well.
You know
As
where
does-
I'd like to see Ovechkin go?
As does Stamkos, but yeah, go ahead.
Winnipeg.
Would who? Ovechkin? Yes, that would be great. Except I don't know how
They'd-
much they need the
yeah.
winger
No.
because they got Line A.
They got Line A.
Who's
and
going
who's on the other side with
more or less going Nikolai Ehlers.
Ehlers with Scheifele centering?
Yeah,
That's-
which is just incredible. That's an incredible line.
They are my dark horse team for the year. The Jets.
I'll tell you what.
I like the Jets.
I like the Winnipeg Jets.
I
a
do
lot.
like the
I
Winnipeg
always
Jets.
have, and they.
Line A, I love Patrick Line A. He's gonna be
I think
incredible.
He's going to be the next Ovechkin. I feel like.
You think?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
He
And
is going to
McDavid's
be
the next Crosby.
incredible.
I feel like that's what we're looking at here.
And then which title? Hedel. What's Hedel? The next
Hedel?
Malkin?
Matthews.
Man.
Austin Matthews.
Well, Austin Matthews is
Cheeto,
now Austin Matthews.
Hedel could be the next Matthews if we could
but
go that
but
route.
Matthews is young. Matthews is what, 19? 20?
I think he's 20.
He's young.
It's just tough because these guys had.
The next,
It's tough to say when.
The next Gretzky.
No, take it easy. When it's just very tough when these guys have had NHL experience and Hedel is not. Neither is Anderson.
Yeah,
Tough to say, but I mean we'll see him
the
develop.
best time to give them out NHL experience, obviously the preseason, but early in the season.
Yes.
Early in the season is the best time to throw those kids in and just see what they can do.
Right.
Because it's early in the season. If you do bad early in the season, you got time to recover. You just don't want to do what the Islanders did and win 4 of their first 20 games and
Yep.
miss the playoffs by 3 points or something like that.
Right. See, the other way around is that there's a lot of games that early on in the season that you'll lose. You'll lose a game like a 2-1 in overtime type of deal, or like a 3-2 on a bad goal.
Right.
And then you'll hear me say, or you'll hear somebody say, like, these are the games you need to win. I understand it's only, first whatever it would be, like a month into the season. But the extra point, you could end up missing the playoffs by a point, and it could be a game that you lost in the first week of the season. The points, eventually they'll get made up, but it's a whole, it's a long season.
Yeah. Real quick, this guy I follow on Twitter who's like he's not a beat writer, he's not a podcaster, he's just a fan, but he's a stat guy and he sends a lot of stats and oversees hockey.
Mm-hmm.
He tweeted out August 4th. He said Elias Anderson's floor is Messier, Heidel's floor is Bure. Could you imagine?
What does that mean? What do you mean floor?
Floor, like that's
level?
That's the least that
Oh.
they can get up to. They could be better than that.
Oh, all
is what
right.
he's
Well,
saying.
hey, I mean,
Could you imagine 1-2 line of Anderson, Scheidel, and Heidel, and they're that good?
I
They're
would
like
love it.
Crosby, Malkin.
Aren't they both centers?
They are 1-2,
Oh, one. Okay.
1-2, and then Zib on the third. How's that?
I'll tell you.
That would be great. Could you imagine?
Well, yeah, I'd even love like something like if Zibanejad, fills the potential of a number one center, he could be the number one, and then Hedel could go to the second, and Elias could be third, or Elias could be second, and Hedel could be like it could work. It just works.
I love Anderson because I feel like he has more of a chance to make the team because he's a little older.
Right.
But here's the thing about Heidel that people don't realize. Yes, he just turned 18, but he didn't play junior hockey last year. He played professional hockey.
Right.
He was playing with big boys in the KHL
Right.
and
Which
whatever
is
other.
what Matthews did.
Yeah, which is, good
Right.
because he has the experience now in a professional league. He might be able to make this transition not seamlessly and not easily, but he might be able to do it. And I'll tell you what, if one of them pans out for this year, it fills a lot of the holes that the Rangers have.
Sure does.
And this is best case scenario. It's hoping by a lot that even one of them make the team because they're 18 years old.
Right, and they have
The-
so much room to grow.
They have so much room to grow, but they are first-round draft picks.
Right.
And if Heidel, I keep going back to this stat because I absolutely love it, is NHL executives believe that if Heidel was in next year's draft, which he was only 5 days away from being eligible for, he would have been a top 5 pick. This kid could be good. It'll solve every problem.
It would. It makes so much sense because of how young the Rangers are still.
Yes, we are so young.
We still have talent.
The only old piece on the Rangers is our goaltender.
And Nash.
And Nash, who is not as old, but
Right.
I don't want to re-sign Nash.
I understand
honestly.
why. I understand.
I would love him if he was 30 years old. I'd love to sign him to a 4-year deal maybe.
Yeah.
But he's 33, going to be 34 when the season ends. Maybe a 1-year deal to play on our third line for cheap. But other than that, I don't know. I don't want Nash back.
I
don't want him in a top line.
I understand why.
He's
I mean,
good.
I
He's just
always-
up there in age. He's getting slower. You can see it.
Yeah, you
You
can.
can see how he's getting slower. He's losing some of his edge.
It's just the big body and the physicality and the puck smart, the hockey IQ is just stuff that you really can't teach, and that's why even if we do sign him to another 1 or 2 year deal, I like it because it would just help the young guys. It would help a Cheadle. It would help an Anderson. It would help a JT Miller even
It
still.
Who
It
is
would-
still young.
right? That's what I mean.
Young. Kreider's young. Zook is 29, relatively young. He's in his golden years right now.
He's right. He's where he needs to be right
He's where
now.
he which is good
And he
because
was-
we're still young around him.
Kevin
And
Hayes.
Kevin Hayes is young. Jesper Fast is young, which I
Ziban-
like. Zibanejad's 24, 23.
20,
Coming out with
4 or 5.
amazing music. We are a young team, and we keep saying what is life after Henrik Lundqvist? What is life after Henrik Lundqvist? Because this team, their identity is Henrik Lundqvist.
It is. And
carrying them in the playoffs.
Yep, I agree.
I'm not
Well,
as concerned anymore, though.
Because we're getting a look
Because
here
we're getting a
preseason.
look at this guy that the Rangers have in the KHL. Well, I don't know if he's on their
the KHL team, yeah.
He's on there. I don't know what but it's Igor Shestyakin. Shezyorkin. He looks absolutely ridiculous. He is 9-0-1, I believe.
He is
in
and
the KHL.
And his stats last year was
off the board.
incredible.
I am excited for this guy.
The only problem I have is that the talent level in the KHL, I'm not taking anything away from them.
It is still good.
It's just it's like AAA compared to the MLB.
That's
it's
true.
it's like the same thing.
I'd
You
say
know, it's just not the same.
I'd say it's more competitive than the AHL, though, to be honest.
Right. That's right. I agree.
So
Because you still
I
have
would like if this is what I would like
you
if
have
they
professionals in the KHL.
yeah you do have
You don't have a lot of professionals in the AHL.
Isn't what's his name
Kovalchuk,
Kovalchuk and
Datsuk.
Datsuk, that's right. Datsuk is in
And
the
if
KHL.
Yager doesn't get signed, that's probably where he's
I'm
going.
so sad for Yager. I really could you imagine him on the Rangers?
It only fits. I don't know why it hasn't happened yet.
I mean it wouldn't solve our center problem, but it'd give us incredible depth
It would.
in the wings. We already have depth on the wing. It's not like we're dying. We need depth on the wing. We have it. It's the center position.
If it's the case where Hayes and Miller both have to switch from the wing to the center and they both have to play center, then Yager fits right in.
Right.
If he wants a top 6 role,
Or
give them a top 6 role, put them on the second line with JT Miller, done.
third line of Yager, Anderson, and Zook. What do you think?
I don't think Zuccarello would play on the third line.
You
And
don't like him on the third line?
Yager also already came out and said he doesn't want anything less than a
top 6 role.
guaranteed top 6 role.
See,
See, that's tough. I think that's where
that's
teams.
tough. We could fit him into our top 6 and just put VC down there on the third line. 'Cause I
Yes,
feel like
that's.
VC's going to be our second
I
line
think
guy.
that's a better fit.
Yeah, but I don't want him on the second line. I feel like he'd fit more on the third line. You know, a little
Yeah.
bit of he's 45 years old.
Yeah.
You know, second line he's going to be out there a lot. third line, he's going to be out there a lot, but not just. It's just a little bit. It's the little things, and that little bit over the course of an 82-game season will add up.
Yep.
And if he's just playing on the second, say he plays 75 games on a second line for someone, he's going to be worn out. And if they go into the playoffs, whoever he ends up with, I don't think he gets signed, to be honest.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't think he gets signed.
I don't think so.
I feel so bad for the guy.
Because
Because he's still good. He's still good.
And he's still conditioned. You see the way he works out in the offseason. He still has it. He still has the will. It's just, I don't know.
I'm sorry. He is 8-0 on the season, not 9-0-1.
Still, that's
8-0, yeah.
Still a good number. But I feel like Yager would fit in. He'd even fit in anywhere else other than the Rangers. But I think he fits more. He fits in better with the Rangers.
Yeah.
But the season we're getting there, man. We're
it's
almost there.
there. It's almost there.
Oh, it's so close we could smell it.
I'm looking forward to it mostly because the Giants are just absolutely garbage.
Yeah, give you something to bet. It's all right. So are the Mets. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, I got the Yankees at least to look forward to, but I'm
Yeah,
not
that's true.
expecting a World Series.
Yeah,
run.
I was gonna say, don't expect too much.
I'd be excited about it,
Oh, of course.
but I'm not expecting it.
of course.
Dark horse NHL team going into the season.
I think we covered on it already in the Western Conference. It's the Winnipeg Jets for me.
Okay. Is there anybody else in the West that you would throw in there?
The Dallas Stars, maybe.
See, they're weird because
They are
I don't
weird.
consider them a bad team.
Right, but they are.
They just made the playoffs, what was it, 2 years ago?
2, yeah.
They had 50 wins.
And last year they had like
They were
30
basement,
wins.
yeah.
That's the thing. Like one year they, right. So but even though they did make the playoffs, were
With
they
50 wins.
Were they a threat in the playoffs? With
I
50 wins,
I
you would
honestly don't remember.
You would assume they were
Yeah.
a threat, but they weren't.
I don't remember.
They weren't.
They weren't. They
They
got
weren't.
eliminated first
Yes,
round.
they did.
Swept.
No,
Oh.
I don't believe so.
Darn.
I don't remember exactly who they played, but I remember they didn't win. Another team,
Arizona.
maybe.
I can see it because they got Stepan now. They got Hjalmarsson with
I like
Hjalmarsson with OEL
I like Hjalmarsson.
is going to be an incredible defense pairing.
Yeah,
right
except
there.
that's really about it. That's the only thing.
Ranta in goal. Who's the kid that they have? I totally forgot. I just blanked.
Anthony
him.
Duclair,
No,
Max Domi.
Max Domi.
He's good.
He needs to step into his own this year.
I like Domi.
I do like Domi.
He's okay.
Okay. I like Duclair. I hope he does good, but I also hope he doesn't do good because if he breaks out to be a star for some reason, then I feel bad because the Rangers traded him away.
He was great his rookie year for them. He was great. He was good for us when we had him too. And now we got rid of him. I don't think he fits in anyway. I think we kind of filled his void.
True.
So, still though, I think in the West, I think watch out for Winnipeg, and I think Dallas can make another run for the playoffs. Other than that,
About the East.
in the East, it's very tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. I'd see again. I don't consider them a bad team, but maybe they could make a playoff run. The Tampa Bay Lightning can never count them out. It's just their goaltending. Ben Bishop went to the Stars, which is why I give the Stars an edge. And now they have Andrei Vasilevsky being their starter, which I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah,
I feel the same way about the Red Wings because I feel like they don't have a number one either, but they have good offense. And another team, dark horse and a long shot. I will put this team in the same category as my dark horse and my long shot to make
in the East.
Yes.
Okay.
It would have to be a wild card spot because I think the division is way too strong, especially because we're in the division. The Carolina Hurricanes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I like it. They just need a goaltender.
Another team
They
that
just need a
needs
goaltender. And maybe who knows? Maybe Cam Ward has a year and he just resurrects himself.
It's
Vintage
very
Cam Ward.
possible. I don't get why their needs haven't been met yet.
They're the only Carolina
obvious.
team that I don't hate, by the way. I don't mind the Hurricanes. I don't mind them.
I don't mind them either.
All right, my dark horse in the East, and then we'll probably cut it for the day.
Yeah.
But my dark horse in the East is the Buffalo Sabres. The Buffalo Sabres,
Okay.
I really like this. They just got Pominville back.
They did get Pominville
They
back.
got,
Defenseman. They did get a defenseman.
who is it? Who was it? From Montreal.
Alexei Emelin?
No, Emlyn went to
Dallas.
No, I thought he went to Vegas.
With the Dallas.
He went to the West, which
Yes.
good. Stay in the West. Get
Okay.
Emlyn away from us.
Fair. Cody Franson still
But
on the
I
team.
like the Sabres.
I don't
Let
like
me try and
Eichel.
see. You don't like Jack Eichel?
Something about him I don't like.
Do you not like it because he got the coach fired in his second year?
Not really, because Bilesman's a good coach. I don't know what Buffalo was doing there.
What with
Sharpen your swords. That's an interesting logo.
very? I like the
Like, that's a
Buffalo
saying,
logo.
yeah.
Buffalo logo is nice. Who did they just get? They got Baptiste, Nicolas Delorier.
Yeah, they've had him for a while. A lot of people are very high on
It was a defenseman.
Robin.
Nathan Boyou.
Beaulieu.
Nathan
Okay.
Boyou. I like him. I think he can become something this year.
Rasmus Verstalenen's also okay for them on the blue line.
Great.
They have young talent.
They do.
Robin Leonard. I mean, people.
Robin Leonard needs to step into his own this year.
People are
He can be the guy in Buffalo. He can, but is he going to be? Johan Larson is also a great player.
People are excited about this team.
I'm very excited about the Sabres. I'm not gonna lie.
And if you remember last year, they were very
they almost
close.
did. I said
They were very
hot
close.
take. My hot take for the end of the year was
Yeah,
that
it was
the
the
Sabres would
Sabres
come out of nowhere, get a playoff spot.
Yeah,
and win a
they
playoff series.
almost had it. They were only like 3 games back.
They were hot at one point, and then they just went full Buffalo and
Yeah.
sucked.
I mean, let's face it. I don't think even if they got to the playoffs, it would have been anything.
No, they would have gotten swept probably.
Superb, but-
honestly. I don't know. They might have stolen one at home.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get swept. Very hard to get swept.
Ex-Calgary, they did it.
Well, they did it, but all those games went into overtime.
They did it, and every game was close. How
And
about
every
that?
game was close. Yeah. Like, it's not like Calgary got absolutely blown out of the water.
They did it one game.
They did one game, but
Yeah.
other than that, these games were close.
Yes.
The NHL has the most
Yes.
parity
They're the closest.
of any sports league.
Anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah.
Literally anybody.
Because puck luck. Puck luck.
Like, the only team you know that's going to be good is Pittsburgh and Washington. That's it.
And the Oilers.
Yeah, but since when?
Now.
Since
now, because of
McDavid.
Connor McDavid.
Right, but that like an average fan wouldn't know that.
I think Connor McDavid is the best player in the league right now. Over
Yeah.
Crosby, over anybody.
Give him one or two more years to solidify that, and yes.
And then he'll be one of the best ever.
Because
probably.
obviously he's going to need a cup as well. You know, he's going to need a Stanley Cup.
Yep.
As does
Tarasenko needs a
Lundqvist.
cup.
Tarasenko, yeah.
Love Tarasenko.
They
I love
everybody
Tarasenko.
that needs a cup that doesn't have one should just form their own team.
Come to New York. Come to New York.
It's either New York or Washington. Pick one.
New York, obviously.
Yeah, the only problem is the Rangers have won a cup before, the Capitals have not. So
Yeah, but I don't like the Capitals.
I don't hate them, but I mean we've played them so many damn times that it's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm sick of you.
Yeah.
I don't like you.
Yeah.
And we play them great.
Yeah, we do. See 2015 playoffs.
Yeah.
Down
See
3-1.
2008 and 2009, 2010, we played them 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
The way Vancouver did with Chicago in the same years.
Alex Nylander on Buffalo.
Okay.
I just saw it. That's another guy that I'm excited for. Okposo, who I don't mind anymore. They got Pominville, Benoit Pouliot, Sam Reinhart, who's going to be a stud.
Sam Reinhart supposed to be said.
Yeah. Hour and a half. That's the world of sports.
That is.
That's pretty much.
I could cover 1 minute on this.
Go for it.
Just one conversation on the fight that happened over the weekend, the boxing match, was Canelo Alvarez against Triple G. I think his name is Gennady Ganoyevich Golovkin.
Okay.
He's Triple G. He's a big Ranger fan.
Interesting.
Huge New York Ranger fan.
Good for him.
That was one of the fights of the century. I mean, wow. Ended up in a draw, which you do not see every day in the world of boxing by any means. But one of the judges had 118 to 110 in favor of Alvarez. I thought if anybody deserved to win that fight, it was Canelo Alvarez. But 118 to 110, I don't know if you know how to score boxing. I don't either. I mean, I don't know how, but I know that that's extremely far off from what actually happened in that fight. Alvarez won the first 3, Triple G won the next 3, and then they literally went 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. And
Really?
it was just it was incredible. Punch for punch, pound for pound. Incredible fight.
Better than
McGregor and
Really?
Mayweather. Yes. Because, put it this way. What happened last Saturday was a boxing fight. McGregor and Mayweather was not. It wasn't. McGregor, he held his own.
Mayweather just played with him.
He proved to the world that he knew what he was doing, despite the various attempts of a
Despite getting knocked out by his sparring partner.
Right. Also, they stopped the fight before he even hit the ground, which I also didn't agree with. I thought they ended it a little early.
I wanted to see him hit the ground so bad.
You don't like McGregor?
No, I just wanted to see somebody hit the ground.
Fair.
If McGregor was the one beating up on Mayweather, I would have been all over, like, go, get him on the ground.
And this goes without saying, but if they squared off in a MMA
No,
fight,
yeah, it's over.
It would have been close.
Oh, no.
Wouldn't have been
It
close.
wouldn't
It
last a
would knock
round.
down a
It
round.
wouldn't last
Knock
15
down a
seconds.
round.
It wouldn't last 15 seconds, honestly.
Coming by soon. Okay. My boss. All right, I just wanted to touch on that fight, and because I thought that was something that deserved to be talked about, and I just thought, I mean, kudos to both of them. There's definitely going to be a rematch, like 100%. They both have title. They both have like 5 titles each.
Isn't one of them undefeated? One of them's like 39-0 now.
Oh, yeah, Canelo, I think is
36-0.
yeah, he's something weird. It's something like ridiculous. He's been a professional boxer since the age of 15.
I don't know how to spell his name.
Canelo, or Canilo, and then Alvarez, the boxer. He's something like 41 or like 39 or something like that. He's got like 27 knockouts. Real deal.
Alvarez has a record of 44-2.
There you go. Oh yeah, his first loss was against Mayweather.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Mayweather. Do you think he's the best boxer of all time?
I mean, if he's got a 50-0 record, I would.
It's
assume
hard to
so.
say. It's hard to say somebody that's never lost.
It's hard to say no, but I just don't know.
I never watched.
Obviously, Ali and Tyson.
I never watched them.
Right.
so
I mean, I didn't either. Joe Frazier. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
He's probably one of them.
Top 3.
Yeah, I'll give him top 3. I might give him top 2. I just don't know who number 1 is.
Yeah. I don't either.
But that.
But 50-0, you can't really.
But yeah, in an hour and a half and 3/4, that's the world of sports.
Yeah. That is the world of sports. And that is the first. This is an unofficial episode, but it is the first run through of our podcast called the Hat Trick Podcast.
Down a man as well.
Down a man.
So
that's why it's Hat Trick, because there's 3 of us. So
makes sense. Aren't we creative?
yeah, we tried. I spent the whole summer trying to come up with a name.
Yeah, and then you
for
asked
it,
me
and
the first day. I was like,
I couldn't come up with one.
I was like, what about the hat trick? We're 3 people. And I was like, yeah, but we don't talk about only hockey, even though that's the one sport that all 3 of us connect on.
Yeah.
We might be able to stick with that. I don't know.
We might.
Figure it out.
But
figure it out. We're roommates, so
yeah,
we
could have done this in the room.
We can do it in our room.
We should have just done it in the room.
Our next show very well might be in the room. And for anybody else that's listening, there's a meeting tonight for Radio Club that will take place right here tonight, 8:30 p.m. in the Student Center at FDU Forum.
What's my position again?
Oh, you're probably going to be the vice president.
Oh, really?
Right now you're the treasurer.
Didn't even know I was. I absolutely love that.
There
I can't. Anybody listening, I had some information dropped on me that not only am I in Radio Club, but I had a position on the e-board.
Yeah.
And I had absolutely no idea.
I thought we all knew this.
I did not.
'Cause I thought we did it
Nobody
on one of the
ever
shows.
told me this.
And I was like, wait, Joe. Yeah, Joe. I mean, I do my show every week with Joe. He's here all the time. He always wants to do a show. He's very passionate about it. Yeah, he takes it seriously. Let's just put Joe in the e-board spot.
There you go.
And
that's how you get an
So-
e-board spot, ladies and gentlemen.
So president, vice president, and when I graduate in May, you're most likely going to be the candidate to take over.
oh
so
boy, that'll be
when
fun.
when that time
I'm
happens,
gonna run it into the ground.
yeah, please don't.
No,
It's
I
already
won't.
pretty much in there.
I'm gonna try and get a better closet.
Rebuild it.
Get a better closet. That's gonna be number one.
Yeah,
on the
right.
list.
Repaint the place.
Repaint that. Me and you could just come in here one night and repaint it.
I have
Just
to.
'cause.
Our club members are interested in that, so we might have to do that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it at the meeting. In any event,
Yeah, that is episode number one of the Hat Trick podcast. This one will not be going up on iTunes or anything. This was just a run through.
Yep.
Next week will begin 100%. Those episodes will be going up on iTunes. iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, it pushes it out to. You'll be able to find us. We'll be on Audio Boom.
SoundCloud maybe.
No, because I'd have to pay for SoundCloud, and I'm only going to pay for Audio Boom, so just one. We'll be on Audio Boom. Once we are on there, if you listen, please please subscribe, give us 5 stars, give a nice review. We appreciate anything like that.
We sure do.
And that is it for this Thursday, September 21st. It's already almost October.
Already almost October. I feel
Wow,
like
we
2
just
days
moved
ago.
in.
Yeah.
And it's already almost October. Wow. Okay.
And that's that.
Yeah, you want to sign us off?
Yeah.
You can sign us off here.
All right. Well, thank you for everybody listening. A reminder that there's a meeting tonight at 8:30 for anybody interested in Radio Club. Thank you all for listening. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the end of your season. And we will see you right here next week on TuneIn Radio for FDU Florham Campus Radio.
Still Snoop Dogg and D.I. Guess who's back?